How's it going, people? Welcome back to the Big Six. Liverpool game just finished. It's a bit of a mad one. It's a bit of a mad one, to say the least. I didn't think we'd have to start with GRIZZ, but
SAEED rubbing his hands. Put the heating on, bro, if it's cold. Why are you trying to light a fire with your hands?
This is the worst thing about it.
You're trying to light a fire, you know.
I need one of your teams to stand up and do it this season, because I can't take United. And it's not only just SAEED. I got man on WhatsApp now. My phone's ringing off.
Man, it might be lockdown. It might be lockdown, but we're dancing, man. Good vibes only. You feel me?
Wow. If you want to start off with Liverpool, it's not a problem, man. We're here to be shot at. That was disgusting. We're in a bad run of form. I think it's one of the worst ones under Klopp that I can remember. And you know, that's a good 3-4 years now, man. Yeah, again, a bad start. Got caught out from a free kick, simple free kick. Trent, even though Trent's like, you know, on the ball is magic, but saying that, he gave the ball away 38 times, I read today. But today was a disgusting performance from start to finish from Trent until he was subbed. And it just started off with him trying to chest the ball when he could just clear the ball there, you know, trying to be clever, trying to be smart. And it cost us some sensational finish from Danny Ings. Like that was bad man finish. Yeah. Trust me. That's one of those. Yeah, that's one of those top elite level strikers. Just know where the goal is. You know what I mean? One of them ones. And that's it. The first half was nothing. We didn't do shit in the first half. They controlled us. They kept us at bay. Of course, we had Henderson at centre back, but you know that's no excuse for today. You know, the excuse lies with the forwards. They look dead. They look dead. Mane looked a little bit better today. He tried, but Bobby and Mo, especially Mo, looked dead. Second half, first 30 minutes, it was back to a little bit like us. We just didn't let them out. We created situations, not chances, but we created situations. We had them penned back, but they rode that. And credit to Southampton, they still tried to break out and play football. And that's the way to beat like teams. When you don't panic, you stay in the game, and then you play football when the team's trying to press you. And they played calm football and created a couple of chances on the break still. Yeah, for us, it's a bad, rough patch. There's nothing more to say to it that, you know, there's no covering up cracks, and there's no saying, with this, that. Forget all that. It's a bad patch, and let's see the title races on that. If you've got anything about us, we're gonna just show it in the next game, innit, against Man United. We have to.
Well, that's your next one, yeah.
That's our next one, bro.
Oh yeah,
FA Cup. Sorry.
Yeah. FA Cup.
The next league game is a sizzler. It's time to rub my hands, boy.
Well, you got a big one next, but before we move on to that, let me go to your main rivals, in my opinion. And SAEED, that's not you, Steve. Man City.
Oh,
before you start,
I didn't know City were above us. I didn't know City were above us.
Dirty.
Nah. I still have City as being the main contenders. I don't know if you lot are contenders or pretenders yet, but we'll get on to you soon, SAEED, because you deserve it as well. Like, obviously, you man have been in good form. You've been saying a lot of wild stuff, but Steve, like, what does this Liverpool loss do and their form this season so far? Are you more optimistic about a potential title this season? Because I don't think, was you optimistic at the start?
Well, listen, like we said a few weeks ago, we said in a couple of weeks' time, we'll all be sat here talking and things will be different. We've had Arsenal, who were dead and buried, who are now making a comeback. We've had Liverpool, who looked unstoppable, who are now hitting a bit of bad form. United we're not speaking about. We've had Chelsea who are up and down, and we've had Tottenham who now seem to be getting it back. So, listen, we've been doing our business quietly. We said that City were ticking along nice. And I'm a little bit confident now, you know what I mean? Sometimes you look at that Liverpool team, you can't see past it because they're that good, they're that clinical, they blow teams away, and you sit there and you think, wow, we're going to have to go some to beat them. But like I've said before, we chased them down once before, and we chased them down good, and we snuck it till the end, and we won it. So I'm always going to believe that we can chase Liverpool down. I'm always going to believe we chase United down because we did with the Aguero. So I'm confident in my own team. And Liverpool losing tonight just makes everybody a little bit more, you know, it's on now. So everyone's sort of fighting. I mean, to be honest, it's turning out to be a good season all round. And where the title's going to go, I don't think anyone can stick a pin on it at the minute.
Yeah, well, as an Arsenal fan, I don't think that everyone included Arsenal, but you are right. This is the sort of season that I would have loved if Arsenal were in the mix, because it could be anyone's. A run of 8 to 10 games can put someone clear at the top at the
We've got
moment.
to give credit as well to the so-called smaller teams who are proper throwing the cat amongst the pigeons. You know what I mean? We talk a lot about the big six, like, you know what I mean? We know what we're doing, but you've got to give credit to these teams because they're turning up. I think the fans not being there takes a lot of pressure off the smaller teams, and I think they're just playing with a bit of freedom. And then, I mean, it's hard to get an accumulator up these days, knowing these results.
Yeah, it is. It is. And we've got someone saying SAEED's loving it right now. So let's move over to SAEED. He's warmed up, man. What are you thinking?
I said it, and I said it for a while. I said, you know, the squad depth will count in this league. And I think Liverpool today again, man. Bloody Jimmy Milner.
Why are you choosing Jamie Milner?
Jimmy Milner. You need a goal, and you're bringing on Jimmy Milner, man. Shaqiri. Okay, Shaqiri's okay. You know what I mean? He's not the best in the world. But I'm telling you now, man, the squad depth Man United have got, mate. This is why we'll probably go far. I'm not saying we're going to win the league, but I'm saying right now, the squad depth Man United have got is one of the best in the league. Because of what we got on the bench to come off, man. It's just crazy. And Liverpool today had no answers. I don't know what they were doing today. It's almost as if they wanted to cross the ball into net. Like, you're not going to get a perfect goal. You know what I mean? Sadio Mane, you thought he was going to shoot. Cross the ball in the net. It's like it's Cross FC, you know what I mean? Cross and inshallah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how bad it is for Liverpool at the minute. And I just feel like, for me, yeah, like, Liverpool, I know there's a little patch they're going through, but you know, they're struggling for answers at the minute. It's like one-way dimensional. If you can just sit back, yeah, Southampton, what they did, yeah, sit back, relax, you know what I mean, 4 bags to 4, and just don't let Liverpool come past you, then you're all good. You know what I mean? And Liverpool had no other answers, no other way of playing. Thiago over the box to Robertson. Robertson cross, boom, nothing happens. Again and again and again. And I just feel like, for me, when you do that, yeah, and you don't have a different way of playing, then you're going to falter. But listen, man, this Premier League, mate, is bonkers, mate. You know what I mean? Look at Man City's, you know what I mean? Steve's grew a bit of hair today, you know, over the weekend. And it's like, you know, it's loving life, man. Everything's loving life. And you know what, man? This league, I reckon this league is going to go down to the wire, mate. The wire.
100.
Literally, it will go down to the wire. Literally, you'll have ups and downs. Everyone will be like, you know, one week you'll be Matisse, next week you'll be Steve, you know what I mean? Loving life, you know what I mean? It's just how it will be. And I feel like for us right now, we've got the good patch going on right now. Beat Burnley, and we're 3 points ahead of Liverpool. Who would have seen that coming, eh? Madness.
Yeah. That's what's mad. That's what's mad. Tobes, what's your thoughts on the loss?
Bruv, it's weird because we've not seen Liverpool play this bad consecutively in a long time. Like, the performances that we've seen against West Brom, Newcastle, and today against Southampton, they are legitimately playing bad. The midfielders are struggling to pass the ball. The attackers are struggling to hold the ball and get attempts off at goal. And then defensively, we've known that they've obviously had the big absences all season, but some of the reliable players are underperforming. Trent has been actually quite poor this season, and today was arguably his worst performance this season to date. I was
going to ask about him because GRIZZ mentioned him too. Like, what is it with Trent this season? Like, what's changed?
I don't think, you know what it is with Trent. I feel like offensively, he's not been as effective as he normally is this season, and I think defensively, his vulnerabilities have been exposed much more than ever as well. And I think part of it is a consequence of the 2 centre backs being injured, Gomez and Van Dijk as well, because I feel like when he's been playing next to Reece Williams or Nat Phillips, etc., that side of his normally gets targeted. And I really think with the pacing behind and 1v1 situations, I think Trent is really bad in those situations as well, and normally has someone to try and mop up and clean up for him. If it's not Hendo, then it's Gomez. But I think this season, all of his defensive vulnerabilities are just being hung out to dry.
Yeah, and that was always a debate with Trent. And now, like you said, the attacking side's a bit of a letdown in comparison. I think he's got 2 assists in comparison to recent seasons. That's definitely not an on-form Trent. And Matisse, round it up with you. What do you think about the Liverpool loss and the title race and all that?
I'm shocked because I've been predicting Liverpool wins for weeks, and they keep screwing up. Like me and Toby said off air, they've been messing up since the Palace game. I'm quite surprised, to be honest. Like I said, I think Liverpool. I know Saeed's been saying they don't have the depth, but I just expect their starting 11 to wipe teams up, and they haven't been doing so. So for me, the fact that Liverpool are underperforming has really just blown the title race open, because usually, like I said, I think everyone really had Liverpool as favourites a couple of weeks ago, but now I'm looking at the table. You know, Man United, like I said, one game now in hand, they can go 3 points clear. Leicester, they're not getting spoken about enough. They're 1 point behind Liverpool, same games played. Tottenham are in there, City. So it's the gap between Crystal Palace in 14th up to Tottenham in 4th is 7 points. 14th to 4th is 7 points. That's disgusting. That's bad.
I still think Liverpool are going to win it, though.
We played shit today, lads. There's no excuses. We were poor. Saints deserved that because, you know, I thought it was a magnificent performance. So I'm not making excuses, but just try because I trust. Forget Saeed, man. I'm not even going to ask Saeed. Right? But I trust you others to be. I just want to be honest. I just want your general opinion on that referee today and certain decisions. Just overall, it's not an excuse. We would die out. Even if he gave us some decision, we wouldn't have won. I don't think. But overall, what was your view on the contentious decisions with the penalties? With the, not looking at them. Overall, generally.
I think they were spot on. I think they were spot on. Yeah. I don't think. I think the Mane one was a coming together. I think to give a penalty for that would have been ridiculous.
But Pogba got the same penalty, right? Pogba got that same penalty.
But that's what I'm saying. That wasn't a penalty. That shouldn't have been given as a penalty. So I don't think because one referee's made a mistake, you cancel that out by another referee making a mistake. I don't think Pogba's one was a penalty, and the handball one was definite. The handball was definitely not a handball to me. Like, I don't know where else the defender's meant to move his arm. He's even gone to put his arm inside, and the ball's hit his arm as he's sliding on the floor. I think both decisions were spot on today.
Yeah, Grizz, I just want to round it up with you and ask you a couple of questions. I see in the chat, I'm seeing the questions, people. Obviously, I'm not putting them on the screen, but I am seeing them, and I will get to a point where we get some of the questions in. But there's a lot of people asking, Grizz, big up Zayn and Boxing Fights. They're saying, are you concerned about Trent, and are you still confident on the title?
Yeah, concerned about Trent, but a lot of people, including Liverpool fans, forget he's still a kid. Just because he's been a bad boy for the last couple of years, people forget he's still a kid, and he will have bad form. All great players have bad form. So, young great players will definitely have a bad form, and he's having a dip. He's been having injuries. He's had a couple of niggling little injuries where he's been out for 4 or 5 weeks, and that doesn't help a young player's rhythm as well. But to the naked eye, a lot of people will think, he's being casual. He is being casual, but people will think he's playing arrogantly and complacently. He's not. He's just that's his style of play. That's the way he plays. His body language is probably not right, but we have to remember he's still a kid. What was the second part of that question?
Are you still confident about the title? And
confident, I want to say I think it's going to be a fantastic race. Like I was saying, like when you lot were saying it's all over, Liverpool have won it. I was saying, no, this is a madness. This season is mad. The injuries and everything has made us put us back into the pack, and that pack looks hungry. Man City look hungry, Man United look hungry, and we're in that pack. There's no point me sitting there delusional and saying, yeah, we got this wrapped. When Jota comes back, you know what I mean? When Matip comes back, we got this. We haven't got this right now. We need to prove it. Champions need to show up, turn up. We haven't in the last 3 games. But as I said, game to turn up and then start, the comeback, so to speak, in the next game.
Yeah, and we might as well move on to the team that you've given a bit of a shining light to, in Saeed and United. Obviously, it was a Friday evening kickoff, innit? United Villa.
Friday evening, yeah. Aston Villa.
And you pulled it out the bag. Obviously, another penalty.
Come on, you know what I mean? I thought we had a lot of chances in that game to kill off a Villa. I predicted it, by the way, 2-1. I don't know how many other people predicted it, but another prediction in the bag there, 2-1.
You and Steve actually predicted it bang on, but most people apart from TOBS predicted the win. So
So 2-1 in there. Wasn't the prettiest game, I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I mean? We rode our luck in certain moments. They've had a few gilt opportunities. I think the Mings one will probably be the closest chance they had. You know what I mean? But still, again, there's something about us right now. We're just ticking over. We're not dominant. We're not dominant in terms of pulling teams away and smashing them 3 or 4-0. but we are getting results, and that's what counts at the minute. Look at Liverpool. I wish they, if GRIZZ will probably say, you know what, I'd taken a deflection or whatnot to make it 2-1, or that goal that went off the line for Newcastle, you probably want to take one of them to have a 1-0. So I think in this moment, I've said it from day one anyway, starting the fixture period, I said, I'll take anything. I'll take a 1-0 scrapey win. I'll take anything at the minute, because end of the day, this Christmas period, it's all about winning and just getting that mentality right of just winning games. And then when you go to the likes of Liverpool, or you go into February, March, that's when you start showing you a bit of swagger and whatnot. But at the minute, man, I can't complain, man. And all the people that hating on, the penalties, you know what I mean? Have some salt on that, man. You know what I mean? Salt and pepper.
Do you know what? Just to add,
you know what I mean? Like,
just to interject. There is a lot of salt, but there is a lot of common sense being said about it, because it's very evident that your team are looking for penalties now. I think Pogba, in an instance, was saying that someone should have dived over a little cameo. You've got Mandem.
Would you not want that? Would you not want that though?
You got Mandem clipping their own heels.
Would you complain about that though?
And that's all well and good when you're winning. But eventually, that is not a sustainable way of winning. And it's very fair to say that Man United are getting the rubber degree with the VAR decisions right now.
No, but would you want that though?
Stats,
would you complain though?
Stats how many games you win under Solskjaer without the help of VAR ain't looking good. So
would
you
Lampard
can enjoy
want that,
the run
though?
as
Would
it goes
Lampard
on,
want
but you
that?
man do need to start winning
Answer the
without
question.
penalties.
Would Lampard want that fortune?
Oh, listen, don't get me wrong. Any of us would want it. Any of us would wish we could wear the
Well,
red
there you
devil
go
badge
then.
and get
That's all it is.
the extra 6-7 penalties a season like you man
But
get.
that's all it
I'm
is, though,
saying
isn't it?
is that it's not sustainable. I do think at some point
Listen,
we'll get found out if you don't.
I don't think we'll get found out. I think we've got quality, all over the picture. We've
you
got
do have
squad
quality, but you are looking for penalties at the moment.
I don't think so. For me, end of the day, this is what happens in football. You have your looks, you have your moments. Every manager needs that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's needed that look, then fair be it, that's why he's still in the job right now. He's had his look, he's done well in certain moments to kind of finish games out, and that's all you can do, man. All I say to you guys, if you want to go to the shop, man, let's get a bit of salt and pepper on there, get a few more salt if you need to. Just relax, guys. This is for me, it was a clear penalty, by the way. I don't know if anyone disputing that. It was a clear and obvious penalty.
It was outside the box.
Sorry?
It was outside. It was just on the cusp.
No. If you look clearly at the penalty, he clips him on the bottom of his heel, He clips on the bottom of his heel, and also it drags him on the side. So there's two options the referee can have. He went to his VAR. He thought the VAR could go there. These guys are very, very well trained professionals, man. Let the referees do what their job is. They're professionals. I think they're right most of the time. So let's let them do what they got to do. And then I can't complain, man. We're joint top of the league, man. And sooner or later we'll beat Burnley. That'll be 3 points. We'll beat Liverpool, 3 points. You know what I mean?
Liverpool.
I think we'll beat Liverpool. I think Liverpool probably easier than Burnley game. It's probably the easier game than the Burnley game. Yeah, honestly.
Are you going to Anfield?
GRIZZ.
Hey, sorry.
No, I hear where he's coming from. I see the confidence.
You need that unbeaten run.
Yeah. This will be madness. This will be a madness. Come to Anfield. That record-breaking run from us. It's set up for United, man. Come and handle your business. Come.
Yeah, that's it, man. I think for me, the Burnley kind of 10 men behind the ball is probably easier than just, Rashford just going past Trent Arnold, like he's not there. I feel like that for me is the easier kind of game. Whereas Burnley, they'll be in your face. I think Liverpool will just kind of, it'll be like a basketball game. And I feel like for me, shoot on shoot, I think Man United could outdo them, mate. I think, but that's a game to be held. But right now, can't complain, man. You know what I mean? Even Steve's looking at me like glancing at me. You know what I mean?
Well, let's go to Steve. Should you be taking them serious this season?
Listen, you know what, right? I see a lot of comments going, City, Steve, City, he hates United. I'm like, listen, I'm a Man City fan from Manchester. And Man United, right? That was like child abuse for me. I had to grow up in school, while they were winning European Cups and we were playing at Mansfield Town and places like that. So don't ask me, do I like Man United? Don't ask me to start bigging them up. But you know what?
Guys. It's not bad, It was a Stockport fan before this, and now it's a Man City fan.
What I was saying is this, listen, they're getting the wins, right? And that's all you can say. Football is about winning, and Man United at the minute are winning. So I take my hat off to him, If you're asking me opinion, do you think they're going to go and win the title? No. And even something more important than that, we play him on Wednesday night, so we're going to absolutely annihilate him. So when he comes on here next week, he'll be crying. So bring your tissues.
Where's the confidence coming from? When's the last time you beat us?
I'm confident because I look at your team, yeah, and then I look at my team. So why would I not be confident? You've just been bigging up. You've just been bigging up penalties.
Really a clear argument,
You've just been bigging up penalties. The famous Man United begging for penalties. So that's how confident you are. And I'm Man City, and I know what my team are capable of doing, and I know what we're going to do to you. And when it counts, you bottled it. You bottled it. Semi-final last year, you bottled it.
They're rattled.
I went to Wembley last year, Carabao Cup final, had a great day out with my son, lifted the trophy and all that jazz, and you were sat at home wounded.
City look dangerous. City look dangerous.
City look all right, but they played a timid.
They don't look all right. They don't look right. They look no. The way to describe the word to describe City is serious. They look serious. They don't look magnificent. They don't look brilliant. They don't look brilliant. They look serious. And
I think Chelsea were that bad. I don't think City were that good. I think Chelsea were that bad. I'll be honest with you, man.
Chelsea were bad. Yeah,
Chelsea were bad. So bad, man. I think City could do that to any team on their day, but Chelsea, man, they just laid it on. You know what I mean? I said, you know what? Just take us, mate. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Take us to prison. You know what I mean? Like they just said, put me in pen already.
But what about when you played them? That's why when they came to Old Trafford. What about when you played them? They didn't exactly play like the Harlem Globetrotters.
That's my point, though. That's my point. No, but that's my point, though. What am I trying to say is Chelsea were that poor for me in that game. I think City were good, but Chelsea were just like, they just gave it to them on the plate. I think Lampard's tactic, you know what I mean? But he's putting his face across his hand across his face. That's how bad it is at the minute. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just laughing credit, definitely.
To go there with all the COVID nonsense and all that, with the goalkeeper in there who's making his debut, and then playing Kevin De Bruyne up front, it was crazy, man. But listen, it worked. But we'll talk about United, aren't we? Listen, it is what it is. They're the famous Man United, aren't they? To me, they should be where they are. This every season in, season out. You shouldn't be bigging yourself up and saying, "Oh, we're not going to win the title." You Man United, pump your chest out, innit? Stop watching that Treble 99 DVD every night and start living it and believing it. You're up there, man.
Well, we're sitting 99. All right, the relegated.
We was in Division 2. Us playoff final, Gillingham.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no. Until the Arab money came in. Until the Arab killer came in.
Look where we are now.
Stockport fans.
Hey, imagine that in 99, we were 30, 40 years behind you. Now we're ahead of you, innit? On and off the pitch.
What's that down to? Oil money?
On and off the pitch.
Oil money, that's what it's down to.
On and off the pitch. I love it.
Oil money.
The noisy neighbours came knocking on the door to kick the door off.
Half of your fans would have been Stockport fans.
Knocking on the door.
Let's be real, man.
Keep begging for them penalties.
Hold them FC.
Keep begging for them penalties, son. We're coming for that title. We're coming for that title. And you know it.
Matisse, you're not getting away with that easily now. Talk to us, man. What happened, man? Tobes is ready there. The smile come out. I was waiting for that smile. Tobes, let's start with you because Matisse, he's doing a disappearing act. One of you two just get it going.
Listen, because we've been hearing that this team, the title challengers, Frank Lampard. He's going to be the man to lead them back to glory. This is how many games now, Turkish? Every time Chelsea lose, we come back and we revisit all the big games they played this season, and it's the same result. No W's. Liverpool, L. Spurs, draw. Wolves, L. Southampton, draw. Everton, L. Arsenal reserve team, L. And now Man City, L. Fair enough, Man City, if you look at it a loss in isolation, it's not the end of the world because it's Man City, it's Pep Guardiola, cool. But the manner in that performance was absolutely embarrassing. And what was even more embarrassing was the tactics deployed by Frank Lampard. The lineup that he selected, his insistence on crossing it into the box, even though he had no target man in the box, and the midfield performance shambolic. Frank should hold his head in shame, and those players should hold their head in shame as well. It was a pitiful performance. And this team, mark my words, they're winning diddly squat this season. They're not winning the league. They're not winning the FA Cup. And they're certainly not winning the Champions League. They are pretenders. And until they get a proper manager, they're not going anywhere.
Wow. Tottenham is on smoke today. Yo,
over to you.
You know what? Was it only me, though? Beginning of the season, Oh, he's throwing them away. Beginning of the season, when Chelsea signed them players, I thought, wow. I thought they were favourites for the league, when they signed them players.
Wow.
But I don't know. I looked at Frank there, to be honest, and I like Frank Lampard. I looked at him and he did look a bit confused. And I don't think Roman has got rid of better managers than him for less. So I can see that phone call coming from the Russian yacht and Big Frank getting his coat rather soon.
Yeah,
I'm not
Matisse.
gonna lie. Sorry, let Matisse go.
No, go on, Grizz. Go on, Grizz. Go on.
No, I was just going to quickly
Before
Matisse gives the sort of, the closing statement here, so to speak. Yeah, I was just going to say I'm one of those that I fell for the squad in terms of. I did, Steve. I thought that squad is going to challenge, and I completely forgot that Lampard's the manager. I must admit, and then when I thought about it, then I thought, no, they're not. Then I realized I slapped myself and I came back to reality. But I did think they're going to be fighting because that squad depth is frightening. It's it's like 2-3 players in each position, but he hasn't been able to get the best out of them, and that's always down to the coach. Unfortunately, it may sound harsh that it's we're all ganging up on Frank Lampard and everything. The media, I still think, have given him an easy time. I honestly believe that. Yeah. Any other manager in that position would be under proper heat. I don't even think he's under proper heat. There's a lot of media. He's got a lot of friends in the media that are still saying, "Oh, patience." They were not saying that about Sarri. They were not saying that about all the other managers. They were not saying that. So
they slated Sarri. They slated him, man.
100%. Grizz, you even mentioned it yourself. Let's look at the managers. Scolari got sacked within the first 6 or 7 months. This is a guy who won the World Cup with Brazil. Di Matteo got sacked 6 months later. This is a guy who won the Champions League. Sarri got them to 3rd and won a Europa League and got. And if not for that Juve job came, it was like a gift from the sky moment, because they wouldn't have had him. They wouldn't have had him. They would have got rid of him. It's ridiculous.
Are you ready, my guy?
I did the zoom up, People, message, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm finding it increasingly difficult to keep defending this man. I can't lie. Like, I've gone into the stats. The Athletic, as soon as we lost, they slapped down a massive report of Frank Lampard is under severe pressure. So you're saying there, Grizz, you don't think he's under pressure? He is under pressure. They've literally decided now. The Athletic, who are very well connected, we all know them. They're very well connected with their sources. Liam Tooney, a Chelsea journalist, went straight in and he said that, listen, Chelsea are starting to look for other managers. They're starting to look at their options. Tuchel, we got linked with bloody Rafa Benitez. We got linked with Brendan Rodgers. There's a whole shortlist now. And I had to look at the report, and I seen Lampard's win record as manager. With obviously he's had more games and less games than some. He's bottom. He's below Villas-Boas, below Scolari, and I'm just like, I can't legislate for it. Do you know what I mean? Like, again, the game. Like Toby said, you got Ziyech crossing the ball in. To who? Timo Werner can't head. Christian Pulisic can't head. Who are you crossing it to? Who? You got Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's been performing week after week after week whenever he gets his chance, benched again. Bench for a player that's coming back from injury. What happens? He comes on, he scores. What happened against Arsenal? Come on, make an impact. What happened against Villa? Come on, make an impact. How many times are you going to mistreat Callum Hudson-Odoi until you get it through your skull that this brother means business? He could potentially save your job, but you're not watching him. You're not watching him like that. And then again, we got dismantled, cut up, grilled, whatever you want to say. That whole game, we just got destroyed. Like, Man City were all over us, finding the pockets, finding the spaces, cutting us apart. I'm not going to lie, it hit like 75 minutes. I started dozing off. I said, listen, there's nothing more to analyze. There's nothing more to see, nothing more to say. I just started dozing off. Mum said, what are you falling asleep for? Mum was like, you need to wake up. You got to cover this. I said, I looked at her, like, what are you talking about? There's nothing to cover. There's nothing to say. I could just rerun the same clip that I said against Arsenal. That was the level of performance it was. So, man, I'm to be honest, if Pochettino was available, I would already wipe my hands clean. The only reason why I haven't is because I don't know. As a contingency plan, I don't know who we would bring in. A lot of people bring up Tuchel. He's had his own management issues. I haven't watched PSG weekend. Huh? Yeah.
You should get that guy from Bournemouth.
I haven't watched PSG in.
I think you should get the Bournemouth manager.
From who?
Eddie Howe.
Eddie Howe.
You're taking
Eddie Howe would be a good fit.
No, honestly, for Chelsea.
Saeed must be.
Are you taking the piss?
Yeah. Have you not watched him?
Yeah.
what he's built at Bournemouth, yeah. Eddie Howe, for me, when I look at it more and more, yeah, I think Eddie Howe would be a perfect fit.
I mean, honestly, you know what? He's got more credentials for the job than Frank Lampard.
You don't rate my track and take the piss. You don't rate
This is Chelsea. This is Chelsea, not Man United. It's Chelsea, not Man United. They don't go for Eddie Howe.
I mean, when you look at it, though,
ridiculous.
Eddie Howe has done at Bournemouth, yo, is remarkable, man. The way he's got Bournemouth, yeah, playing good football. He's played good football, man.
Yeah, all the way to relegation in the end.
Obviously, you know, he had to come sooner or later, but I think Eddie Howe would be a good fit for Chelsea. I really would. I think, you know what? I said it to you, Matisse. I said it to you, yeah, about in September.
I'm sitting on my bed because you're taking the piss.
No, I'm actually being serious. Like, for me, yeah, I said it to you, Matisse. Yeah, Frank Lampard would be the first person in the top 6 to be sacked. Didn't I say that to you? Did I say that to you, though?
You did.
And I told you already, Frank Lampard, for me, yeah, he's been riding off his career at Chelsea. And you know what, man? Abramovich has had enough now. I could just see it in him. The way he's playing Kante in a DM role, man, it's absolutely astronomical, mate. You know what I mean? He's not a DM for me. He plays as a number 8.
Kante was awful.
He
was
was
awful. So
awful,
many turnovers.
You know what I mean? I think we should relax with Kante hype, man. I think Chelsea fans idolize him too much. You know what I mean? I think Jorginho will probably do a better job in that holding role. I don't know why he's on the bench. You know, there's so many fundamentals.
Jorginho as a lone DM won't work. He doesn't have any mobility. But I criticized Kante before in playing that role.
Finding
Timo, you're not moving.
You know what is Saeed though? I do think. I know we've slammed Frank Lampard. We slammed Frank Lampard, and rightly so. But we need to get onto some of those players as well, because some of those players were shambles yesterday. Mason Mount, I think he needs a rest. He's played like every single game bar 2. I think the wear and tear is starting to show. Kante, I think he needs a rest as well. He's been vomit worthy the last like 3 or 4 matches, losing the ball, not being able to track runners. I think Kovacic, I think he was okay yesterday as well. I think up top as well, Timo Werner. Why is he still starting games? He's not scored. He scored like 1 goal in like 10 or 11 matches. Take him out the firing line and put someone in. Giroud was the informed striker. He didn't play. Ziyech, half fit, did play well. And then Pulisic as well. I'm not hearing anyone really mention Pulisic, but he's not played well this season. I know he's had these injury problems, but he's not played well this season.
The thing is with Pulisic is I can see signs of a player that's on something that can come back into the shape of the form of things. Why Werner continues to play, I will never know. I've been calling for this guy to be dropped for weeks. You got Tammy and Giroud who are in better form than him, yet you continue to keep playing him. How many more times? Everybody, and this is great because football Twitter, Chelsea football Twitter, they got what they wanted. That was the dream front 3. So you dropped all the players that were in form, like your Girouds and your Hudson-Odois. You got your dream front 3, and what did you get from it? Nothing. Nothing. This is a team that I've played, like I said, less through balls than Bruno Fernandes himself, and you suddenly think that playing Timo Werner down the middle is suddenly gonna what do you think is gonna happen? You think you're suddenly gonna start playing attractive football because you move? I swear, man, I'm seeing some madness from Chelsea Twitter at the moment. Oh, if we just move this player here and move that one there, or maybe we should try Ziyech in the 10. You're not trying to bake a cake. What is this? You're just going to keep trying different ingredients. It's nuts.
It's a question of Lampard. Is he getting the best out of his players? And when that happens, then you have to say bye-bye for Lampard, and it's time to go.
Yeah.
The point I will make, though, is that a lot of Chelsea fans keep comparing it to the Klopp situation. Oh, we gave him time, and I don't want to hear none of that. Because Klopp, like I said, Dortmund, Mainz, 12 years, like did nearly 20 years of hard graft before he even got to Liverpool, 15 minimum. So I don't want to hear that comparison. Comparison that I think is still on his level is I still have Oli and Arteta at the same level as him personally, minimum. And I think the turnover that I've seen from those 2 clubs, because Oli's been almost at the sack, right? Almost. Yeah. Now he's turned it around. Here we go. Arteta, a couple of weeks ago, everyone was saying sack him. Now, not too many people are saying that. And I still wouldn't go against Frank Lampard somehow managed to turn around when the easier fixtures come up and start going on a run. Next thing you know, you see him in 4th, 3rd, and you're not having these discussions anymore. However, one thing I will say is at the end of the season, we need to review just how much progression has been done by the players that he signed and him as a manager. Because regardless of whether he turns it around and we get top 4, if he can't take us to the next level, which he's not looking like it at the moment with the way that he's been going on in-game management as a whole, he hasn't shown enough. Then regardless of whether we hit top 4 or not, if he hasn't progressed his team enough, then I think the club will still look at other managers anyway, regardless. But for me, it's just a madness at the moment, to be honest. The way that we're playing, we got Morecambe next in the cup, then Fulham, and the other reason why, like I said, you're gonna sack someone, but you have to bring someone of quality in. There's no point sacking anyone until you bring someone in. So I remember SAEED was ready to sack Oli, but then Pochettino is not available anymore. Kind of just leaves it because, to be honest, unless you have a contingency plan for the person that you want to come in, you know you're going to have a success. Whereas I would have wanted Poch, but I don't really. None of the other guys knocking about. Yeah, they're better managers than Lampard, 100%. But I'm not fully confident in everything yet that they're going to be the right guy to take us forward. They're still going to need time. A lot of them are managers based on philosophies and system. It takes time to implement that. So, you know, I don't expect someone new to come in and suddenly, yeah, we're going to finish top 4. That's short-termism. Then you bring in a short-term manager. But if you're looking to finish top 4, then I don't know what the best way to go is, because a lot of people are talking about Nilsman. They're talking about, you know, Marco Rose, talking about all these managers. First of all, these managers are in clubs already. Do you know what I mean? Don't think that they're just going to pick up their bags and move midway through season and come to Chelsea into a mess pot and put their managerial careers on the line, because they're not stupid. They see the trajectory of their managerial careers going upwards. They could be at Real Madrid. They could be at Bayern Munich in the future. So why the hell would they come to Chelsea mid-season when we're playing like shit just so they can try and fix it up? When really, let's be real, if you're going to sack Frank Lampard, you have to do it today, because you've got Morecambe, you've got Fulham in 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks there for a new manager to come in and implement his team. There's no point otherwise. So for me, that's not gonna happen. And their number one target, Poch, is not available. So I don't think that, you know, I think the board are just gonna see it out for the next couple of weeks and see what happens. But with this season being as freakish as it is, and that gap that I told you, 14th to 4th, so tight, I don't see him moving quick. I don't see him moving anytime soon, because one, they'll wait to see if he turns it around, and two, like I said, I don't think a new manager is just going to come in here with this freakish season with barely any time in between the games, where you need training days. You know, most new managers come in for a pre-season with their own transfer targets. There's no time in between these games for training, for philosophy, all this stuff. It's just, for me, I don't see Chelsea switching managers ASAP, but they are looking. So he's under huge pressure. He needs to turn it around very quickly.
I wanna just ask Steve, because I think TOBS, GRIZZ, and SAEED, they've all pretty much said that it's time to, you know, either move on from Lampard, or you're gonna have to move on to win the biggest stuff. Steve, are you in agreement with that? Lampard, he's not cutting it. He's not gonna cut it.
Do you know what? I am a great believer in giving managers time, but with Frank, I looked at him there the other day and I just thought, and you know what? There's no excuse with Frank, because he's been given the tools and he's been given the squad. I mean, Chelsea's youth team, I think they've won the Youth Cup about 4 seasons on the bounce, so he's got the depth even in the youth squad. He's even got players. But I mean, look at the signings he made. Look at that squad. And if you're asking me, can another manager come in, a world-class manager, and make that squad a title contenders? I think, yeah. I just think it is Frank's lack of experience that it's just not gelling the team. And I don't know if that's some of the players thinking, you know what, who is, you know, he might be a good player, but who is he as a manager? You know what I mean? You don't know if the players are thinking that, you know, sometimes you can be a great player, we all know that, but when it comes to that dugout, it's a different situation. But if you're looking at Arteta, there's something about Arteta, whether I'm a bit biased because of the Pep Guardiola thing, I don't know, there's something about Arteta that I see where I can see something in him. But with Frank, I looked at him the other day and he's looking at the scoreboard, his arms are folded, his body language looked a bit dejected, and I just thought it might be his time, you know. So I don't think he's going to get it right.
Yeah, I actually think one day we'll see Simeone be managing Chelsea. I think it's the natural.
Perfect. Simeone would be perfect for Chelsea. I can see him running up and down that touchline, going crazy and all that.
Yeah, I don't think they'd want Simeone though, because wasn't the whole reason why they moved from Conte to Sarri was to get someone who can play an expressive brand of football and compete for titles. So I think if they went to Simeone, they're completely moving away from that. And I don't.
They wouldn't do that because Roman wants to play progressive football.
Yeah,
he said that for a while now.
The past 18 months, if you've seen Atletico, he's started changing it up. Even so far this season, they're very different.
They are the league, aren't they? They are different this season, but I feel like they would still want someone who's actually known for playing that brand of football, not because it's convenience now that you got João Felix and Luis Suarez, so you have to sort of change up the way you're playing. But yeah, they're playing good football this season, but I still think they'd want someone who's predominantly known for that type of football.
And to add, I do think it will be a German manager, because when you invest heavily in Havertz and Werner, you want to see them, you want to see them flourish. They want to see someone get the best out of them. And I just think that's the way the squad is. That's the way they'll move if they do decide to sack him.
There's enough potential with German managers right now to maybe pull one out the bag. Steve, I just want to ask you, because obviously we mentioned Simeone and Guardiola's successor, or eventually, would you mind someone coming in that might not, be as attacking as you've enjoyed over the last few years, but remains a winner? Or are you very much a type of guy that wants to see good football with the trophies?
No, listen, I've watched some absolute shite watching Man City over the years, from the lowest to the top. So I'm just appreciating the winning feeling. I'm appreciating the good football. But I think what Sheikh Mansour and that have brought into the club, from the top to the bottom, even Pep, they demand a certain style of football. Years ago, City, all we demanded was winning. If it came off Sean Goater's ass and we won 1-0, we was happy. But now it's a different kettle of fish. I would like someone to come in and keep up that style of play, entertaining football and things like that. And I do think the chairman and the owners are going to demand that. When you look at Mancini, when he come in and we won that league, when Pellegrini followed on from him, we didn't really win the league with flair under Pellegrini. We just sort of carried on from Mancini, and it was that winning mentality, I think, that got Pellegrini. And then obviously Pep came in and totally revolutioned how we played, and the Centurions, Formidables and all that. I mean, it's a tough task to follow. I can see whoever comes in and follows Pep, I can see City being in just outside of it for a few years under a new manager, because the pressure's going to be on. The fans are fickle as well. They're going to be demanding going back to Pep all the time. Oh, Pep would have done this, Pep would have done that. But yeah, I just think each manager's got their own style. I don't know whether City will appoint from within the City football group, because they've got managers all over the place doing different things. But I don't know. I was thinking before, there's a lack of real top quality managers out there. Like Pochettino, everyone seemed to want him. He's gone to PSG. And now it's like, right, okay, who's the next manager? I mean, you look at Frank Lampard and you look at Arteta, one's in the Arsenal job. They're a massive team, Arsenal and Chelsea, and they're sort of employing unproven managers. And
the only world-class manager that's sort of done anything currently that's available in world football is Allegri, right? I can't think of many more. Yeah. Allegri is the only one.
Maybe Enrique.
Yeah, he's available. All right. Yeah. Nagelsmann is the one up and coming that everybody wants, and it's gone through my mind. The American
Tuchel as well, isn't it?
Tuchel, he hasn't. I don't think he's proved anything at the highest level. He's potentially a great manager. He's not though.
Clubs will still want him though.
The guy at Salzburg, he's one of the most.
Jesse March.
Jesse March, yeah. So these three are the most sought after managers right now, you'd say, and one of these clubs have got to snap one of them up. Otherwise, they're going to go to one of these European teams.
It's tough out there. Like you say, it's tough managerial side of it. And like you say, when you change a manager now, you're not just changing a manager and maybe 2 or 3 backroom staff. You're changing the manager, you're changing the fitness coach, you're changing the nutritionist, the scouts, 30 odd members of the. It's like a full overhaul of your team and your backroom staff. It's not like it was years ago where you select a manager and an assistant. It's complete. Players could trust a coach, trust a physio, trust a scout, and then all of a sudden, boom, they're all gone. A new guy comes in, and it can upheaval. It's tough out there now. It's tough.
It is, and keeping in mind time, I just want to move on to the next game, and we'll move on to Arsenal now. I think that's a big away victory, a big performance as well, which makes a change. Even though it's our 3rd win in a row, I think this one stood out because of the overall performance, the amount of chances created, the fluidity. Yes, it's only West Brom, and I think Arsenal fans got carried away when we beat Fulham on the first day of the season too. But it's nice to see Emile Smith-Rowe in there, very fresh. It's nice to see Saka excelling in another position. That's about the 6th, 7th position he's played over the last 18 months. And I can't even say which ones he's best at, and that goes all the way down to a left back and left wing back. So we've got a very, very good player on our hands, and Arteta seemed to turn it around. And Grizz, I know you've got to go shortly, but I want to ask you about Arteta, and obviously you was very much supportive of him in his time of need, and you saw something in him similar to Steve as well.
It's I just saw, in my opinion, when you look at a coach in his sort of first few months there, you try to see what he's doing differently from the previous coach, and you try to see if he recognizes the problems early and tries to rectify it without having to bring in players, because he can't. His hands were tied. It's not transfer windows closed or whatever, or the finances. And I found that in that first few months, some of the scalps that he took off the big boys, right? It's not easily done with the caliber of player that he had, in my opinion. You look at a mental low, physically, no one was pressing. There's no energy in that Liverpool Arsenal team. It was one of the easiest teams to beat up. Like, you just go physical with them, you bully them out a little bit, and that's it. They're done with. What I saw in that early time was he tried to bring a total new energy to that team. And I thought, this guy has got, I think Steve said earlier, you could see what he's trying to do. Like, okay, Ole's flying now. But you can't see what Ole was trying to do at United, and you still can't. He's just got super players. Same with Lampard. You really can't see an identity that he's trying to bring to Chelsea, or in his time has brought an identity to Chelsea. I think Matisse would agree. He hasn't really brought an identity to a playing style to Chelsea. Arteta tried that. He just didn't have the tools to do it. But over time, it hasn't. Look, I'm not saying he's done a magnificent job. I'm not going to suddenly say, but I think he's one of those coaches that you can see is a progressive coach. And, he's one of those coaches, and you're one of those clubs, unfortunately, that will have to give him time. And I don't think you've got much options but to give him time. And I think it looks like they will give him time. And I think he'll come good. When I say good, he'll make you challenging in the top 6 again soon.
Yeah. I nearly forgot to mention, and how can I forget Kieran Tierney? And we've got a captain in the making there, a player that he embodies what I want moving forward from the type of player we recruit at this club. I mean, he's passionate, his applications 100% every game, and what a goal as well. I want to ask Tob about what your thoughts on Arsenal over the last few games, and because obviously you was very critical of Arteta. Have you changed your opinion? Are you seeing change?
I don't. My overarching opinion on Arteta hasn't changed. I'm gonna need to see a lot more to convince myself that he is the man to sort of get Arsenal properly competitive again. I think a lot of your fans need to remember that yes, you've won 3 games in the trot, but you're still in 11th spot. But not to take anything, not to focus on the negatives. I mean, that performance. I know it was West Brom. I know they've taken beatings recently, but that was a really impressive performance, like comprehensive victory. I think you lot had something like 21 attempts away from home, which is by far and away like the highest number of attempts you've had in months, probably even before Emery got sacked as well. I mean, like, to go to it doesn't matter how bad the team are, to go to a Premier League ground away from home in those conditions and to put the opposition's goal under siege like that, you have to applaud it as well. I felt like he is slowly rectifying his mistakes, the likes of using a natural number 10 who can play in between the lines. Emil Smith-Rowe looks a decent player as well, looks a decent talent, but he's not even he ain't like a Foden or anything like that. But the point I'm trying to make is he's someone who's a decent player, and look how much of a difference it's made to their team, to your team. Like, he's no world beater, but just putting in a competent number 10 there who knows how to pick up the ball in advanced positions, who knows how to work with the wide men and just give you another dimension to your attack. It's paying dividends as well. And I think you have to big up a lot of those players as well. I know you've mentioned Saka, I know you mentioned Tierney, but we slam him when he's playing bad, so we have to mention him when he's playing well. Lacazette, this is easily the best I've seen him play for Arsenal in a long time. And for me, as I said, my opinion of Arteta hasn't really changed, but I'm impressed by the way Arsenal are playing now. And if it continues, then maybe my opinion might change.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think we have to still be, balanced on our opinions of Arteta as Arsenal fans. I think we need to understand that there's a massive job on his hands. He isn't experienced enough for us to be confident in him. But have we got the patience in the people above him that they're going to provide enough? Saeed, you as well have been critical about Arteta. Have you changed your mind?
No. I've been the opposite.
Actually, you've actually been all right with him, but I don't know if that's a bit tongue in cheek.
Arteta read me, man. Arteta read me, man. I tweeted it, and I got a lot of what do you call it, commentary from this. Like I said, Arteta, you can see his philosophy, but he doesn't have the players to suit it. And I feel like for me now, as time goes now, you see with Smith Rowe, you man needs to calm down with all the things you've been talking about Smith Rowe, I've seen a lot of comparisons, but we'll leave that till next time, I think I've always said it with Arteta, man. And the thing, GRIZZ mentioned it there. With Arteta, when I first seen him, was a game against Crystal Palace. I think, did you do 1-1 or was it 2-1? The game against Crystal Palace, when he came to the football club, and I see the triangles he was playing, the passes, the clever movement, the interchange. And I was like, you know what? That's a manager. If you can back him, as a manager, I'm looking at him thinking, you know what? If you get him and you back him properly, he could be a good manager. I'm not saying long-term manager, but maybe 4 or 5 years, leave a foundation for another top manager to come in and go boom and take it to the next level. I just feel like for me, it's been happening for a while. The Chelsea result was brilliant. West Brom, you played brilliant. You know what, Saka, mate? Saka is a player, man. You know what, man? You got to protect that kid at all costs. And you know what? It's probably more dangerous on the right-hand side, Play him on the right-hand side. I'm sorry, Pepe, but you have to sit out on this one. Play him on the right-hand side. And when he was on that right-hand side and he changed on his left, his speed of the way, he changed his body, man. It's unbelievable. So shout out to him. And man, just Arsenal, man, just keep it going. I feel like they will climb up the table. I feel like they will do, the things that I want to do. I just feel like you've got to be patient. I think Arsenal fans have not been patient. I think they've wanted success easily. They are where they are. I think they'll finish about 8th or 9th this season. I think that's a good season for Arsenal. Get 8th or 9th, maybe win the FA Cup. That's your cup, isn't it? And then that's it. I think Arsenal can't complain about that,
Man said that's your cup, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your cup, mate? What's your cup?
Is, we'll see.
Recently,
that's not a bad cup, is it?
Their cup. Let me say it now. Their cup this season is the joint top cup with Liverpool. That's the cup.
I'm doing second about that.
Love that. The joint top cup with Liverpool. That's your cup for this season.
Listen.
Shut that down.
Big up the chat. There's over 1,500 people here. Hit the like button if you haven't already. But listen, someone reminded me. Obviously, William Saliba. Let me push this on to Matisse. William Saliba, we loaned him out today. It's become official. You guys know the brief history about William Saliba and it being a messy situation. Yeah. Fofana, Leicester's defender, who played with Saliba at Saint Etienne, he put on Instagram on his story a picture of Saliba and he wrote the words "finally free." How would your reactions are pretty much saying, I was going to ask Steve too, but his reaction. Matisse, let me start with you. What is that about? Who would you look at first? The manager in control of the dressing room, or would you look at it as a teenager out of control, out of his depth?
Nah, it's got to be the manager, man. It has to be. Like, for me, Saliba, I don't understand how he doesn't get any game time for you, first of all, because I've seen him, like, he had something with Lacazette where he says, listen, don't hype me up to be an Arsenal player. I ain't playing no football. I'm not here to just wear the badge, wear the training kit, come and take all these pictures with all you, man. I want to play games, and he hasn't been playing any games. I don't understand why. And, you can link it to other situations. You got Guendouzi. You had a period where man them were just getting sent off like there's no tomorrow. I think there's still a bit of man management that needs to be done from Arteta in respect to that. I rate the change to play Saka right wing because before, I remember the arguments, Willian or Pepe. For me, Saka's clearer than both of them. Do you know what I mean? That's not even close. I remember doing propaganda for Chelsea to sign Saka when he was running out of contract. But with this Saliba situation, I just cannot wrap my head around it because it's not like you've had, for me, Holding, Chambers, for me, the only defender that I really rate, the centre-back that you have is Gabriel. I don't think, even David Luiz, I don't think he's anything special for you to be not given an opportunity to Saliba. And I know that it will be a young partnership. And I remember us saying at the start of the season, it would be a young partnership and maybe you have to expect mistakes. But Gabriel and Saliba together, I think that has potential to have like there's a lot there. And I think, I don't know now, I worry about Saliba's long-term future, because I think when you have such a poor start to your career at a new club, when you're so hyped to join and you have all of this drama around it, where now he's had to go out on loan, and I just don't, I personally don't know if he'll even come back now. I think he'll go out on loan and then he'll go maybe impress, and maybe he'll go somewhere else, because I've never seen anything like it. You sign him for 27 million. This is such a big deal. Do you know what I mean? Such a in a critical position where you've neglected for so long. You sign 2 centre backs, and I'm like, yo, this is Arsenal. They're getting their shit together, and then you don't play him. I'm just like, I'm confused, shocked.
Yeah, it's obvious. It's obvious they must have a group chat or something where they talk about it, and because it's been mentioned before, I think with the Guendouzi thing about being locked up, and now Fofana saying finally free. These young French guys must have a WhatsApp or something.
I disagree with them, Matisse. I think it's Edu's fault. Edu's playing a part in all this. You know what I mean? I think, I really do. You know what I mean? I think the plans were to kind of, play him in kind of the under 23s. It took a while for him to play under 23s. You know what I mean? He got isolated. I feel like there's a lot of things that Edu does behind the scenes, influences the manager. You know what I mean? I think I don't know if what Edu's kind of role is at the football club, but it must be sort of football director kind of, kind of role. You know what I mean? So he has got an influence in the team. And I just look at it and I think the same with Guendouzi, you know what I mean? And same with Saliba right now. If there's something that's fundamentally that Edu has not liked, you've seen it, it's just been cutthroat and be like, you know what? You're not in the team right now. And I feel like for me, it's a sad situation, you know what I mean? You're looking at Guendouzi now, he's absolutely doing bits at Hertha Berlin. He's scoring every other game now. You know what I mean? I just feel like for me, Saliba's thinking, you know what, man? Sod you lot then, innit? You know what I mean? You, man, do what you want to do. I'll probably get a kind of a big contract, and I'll probably go end up being, because I think he's that good enough to be probably go up to like, that kind of level of maybe go play for Barcelona one day. You know what I mean? That kind of level of Varane. He's got similar belt to Varane. I think, you know what? Other clubs like Barcelona, Real Madrid are probably looking at him. You know what? Let him go out alone, and then we'll say, you know what, Arsenal, here's 30-40 million. We'll buy him off you. Because he is that good, When you look at him, and for the age he is, you know what? He's a player for the future, man. I think Arsenal, they're looking at David Luiz, they're looking at Pablo Mari, thinking the grass is greener, mate. But sometimes you got to look at the future, man.
We got to a point where we sold every single asset we had, and I think Van Persie was literally the last one we had where it had some value, and that was even with a year left. And I think round the corner now, we've got assets being made. But I think this transition in the next 2 years of the overhaul of about 15 to 20 players in this side need to be transitioned in and out in the next 2 years. Because in 3 years, contracts like Tierney, Saka, Martinelli, Gabriel, they all come into play in terms of in their final years. So I think this transition now, which Arteta is currently in charge of, it is so massive that if it gets done wrong, and that's Edu included, and Vinay and Kroenke and all of them, then we are fucked for much longer than even I expected. But people, GRIZZ, I know it's past 11, so what I want to do is, I've got the table here. They asked me about the table, the prediction table. I've got it here, so I'm going to put it up before you go, because it's 11:05, and I know you said you got to bounce at 11.
Yeah, this table is a bit. But go on, I ain't going to say nothing, man.
What do you mean? You're not even. Well, you are last, but you're not that far behind.
Yeah, I started.
Oh, it's my no.
What? So I started late, man. Surely, man. There's like.
You didn't start late. I've counted it from.
Null and void, shit, man. Null and void. Where's the null and void shouts, man? Where's the null and void?
No. Manchester, no.
It's all tight.
I can take Big Steve winning, but look at that Bray in second place, man. I need to bring him down.
You said joint second. Joint first, did you say? Yeah.
Nah, you're not even joint first, man.
Man said joint first, but
joint first. I love that for this one.
I thought I'd bring that up, obviously, before GRIZZ has to go. But we've got Tottenham to finish with. So, TOBS, let's just wrap it up with you and Tottenham's expected win.
Yeah, not much really to say. We spoke about it. We spoke about it on, I think it was Friday. Yeah, spoke about it on Friday, and we all knew how Leeds were going to play. We know what our strengths are, and our strengths versus their weakness. It was always going to be a mismatch. Leeds went for it in typical fashion. They had a couple of attempts, and with better finishing, they probably could have scored a goal or two. But I mean, we exposed their weaknesses in full effect, and on another day, we could have easily scored 4 or 5 ourselves. But it's no coincidence that the minute we play Leeds, we have our highest attempts on goal in probably the best part of like a month and a half or so in the league. So I'm not going to get too carried away by that result. I still want to see Jose Mourinho go up against the team and go for the kill, where the team's not going to be as stretched or as expansive as Leeds. So we keep ticking. I can't remember where we are on the table now. I think it's like third or fourth or something like that. 4 points off. I think 4 points off United. So listen, top four, top three finish is still on the cards. So we got a cup final tomorrow as well. So put all our cup semi-final. Put all our efforts into that and get into the final.
We got KG's in the building. He told me to cut your mic off, bro.
Yeah, he's a hit.
KG, I see your comment saying last episode that you were watching the scores, and the scores, they became slight reality still. Like, it was a 3-goal margin, but it is what it is. With Leeds, it's a mad one because they're sticking to their morals and doing it the way they want to do it. And I think that will bode well for them in the long-term future. This season's going to be a roller coaster, though. Any other thoughts on Tottenham from anyone?
No, I mean,
yeah, go on, Steve. Sorry,
they kind of done what you expect, isn't it? I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Leeds, man. If you ever need Leeds to it's never gonna happen. But sometimes you just need them to calm it down a bit. Do you know what I mean? Kane and Son, they didn't even try and hold those two together. Do you know what I mean? It was just relentless. And like Toby said, they're gonna be in 4-5. I look back to the game where we played Tottenham. We managed to stop Kane and Son. If you stop Kane and Son, you really do give yourself a chance. But if you don't even try and stop the two main threats, I don't know if Leeds do any opposition analysis or anything, or they just go for the throat every time. But it was just wild, man. I'm not even surprised in the end. I thought Tottenham would win, but I thought Leeds would at least get some goals and make it nervy. But obviously, if you're asking one team to do defense, it's Tottenham with Jose Mourinho anyway. So,
I think for me, when you look at Tottenham, it's literally Kane and Son, and then that's it, man. You know what I mean? You might as well just call it 2-man FC. You know what I mean? Like they're just like they're very, very reliant on them two. And this is no kind of no critic of Tottenham.
I agree.
Yeah, you know what it is. Yeah, and for me, that it's not sustainable to get top four. And that's why I feel like they'll be short of top four. I think they'll finish 5th or 6th. I just feel like them two, you cannot rely on them two to get top four, man. It's just not sustainable. You know what I mean? You need a squad to get you there, man.
Yeah, I do hear you, and I think there are some players in our team that will step up, and I'm hoping that we venture out into the market and bring in some players to help with that creativity and help take the burden off Kane and Son. But just touching on Son as well, he bagged his 100th goal for us on the weekend in 253 appearances.
Yeah,
54 assists as well. I mean, I know. Obviously, in previous seasons, he's been a quality player, but he's not quite had that consistency to be considered a world-class player. But this season, 12 goals in the league in like 16 appearances or 17 appearances.
He's world-class. He's world-class.
He's playing at a world-class standard now, and I'm just happy that everyone can see it.
Yeah, 100%. But we've just gone over an hour, people. It's just past 11 p.m. in the UK. I know you guys are tuning in from all over, but we've got to call it at night. Some of us have got work tomorrow. Some of us have got more videos to do. If you haven't already, make sure you go subscribe to all of these guys' channels or Instagrams. It's in the description box below. Literally just go type it into YouTube. You'll find them there. Make sure you subscribe, and we will be back together, all 6 of us, Friday evening, 10 p.m. I know it's FA Cup weekend, but we'll discuss what we think about the FA Cup and all of that, really. People, any last words, people?
Oh, man. Just enjoy the lockdown, man. You know what I mean? Stay sane, you know what I mean? And just like keep positive, man. That's a message for everyone. Keep positive.
You know what? It's lucky you reminded me. People, it's lockdown, so you might as well get subscribing. There's going to be a lot more content coming from every single people here. So get subscribing, keep supporting, and hit the like button on your way out, people. We'll be back Friday. Take care.